All right, welcome everybody to Wellness Wednesday. It's great to have you with us on Wednesday, May 26th. It's a beautiful day here in Utah where we're hosting the call. And I want to welcome all of you both who are attending the call at the scheduled time, as well as those of you who are watching it at a later date, possibly on the website or through the app, and as part of our library. Welcome to this edition of Wellness Wednesday. And without any further delay, I will introduce our guest speaker. And that's why everybody's coming on the call today, not because I'm hosting, but because we have our lovely and talented Chief Product Officer, product passionate extraordinaire, one of my most obnoxious lunch companions at times because of the way I eat. But we love her and we love her passion. We love her just commitment at all times, and I mean at all times, to health, to helping the world one person at a time become healthier. And I just love that about her. And you know what? I tell people, never apologize for passion. Never apologize. When people are like passionate about something, I was like, never apologize. So please welcome our Chief Product Officer, the person you all came to see today, Deanna Latson.
Hey, hey.
Hey.
Yeah, you need a little bit of scrutiny in your eating habits. So
you think?
I don't feel bad being a slightly obnoxious lunch partner for you. So, hey, everyone. I'm just so happy that you were here on the call today. And Rick, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe as convergence happens with all of our companies, that the optimals are becoming available to everyone who was a part of our No-Knee family. Is that right?
Yes, they actually are available now because they did not have one. So we've been cross-pollinating along the way, but as of July 3rd, for sure, all of our Zenoa friends will have access to them as well. So yeah.
Beautiful. Okay. All right, everyone. So let me share my screen here and then we'll get started because I have a disclaimer to make. I want you all to know my disclaimer. This is my belief. I walk through my life with this belief. I believe that medicine is not healthcare. I think healthy lifestyle is healthcare and medicine is sick care. And so that has driven my belief over the last forever. I'm older than I like to admit sometimes. And it has driven my career. And what happens as a society, so often we look out in the world, and if I was to ask a group of people, hey, what happens when we get old? The things they say to me is like, oh, you start driving bad, you're on prescription medications, you don't move around as well, you don't sleep as well, you don't have as good energy, you stop having sex. Like the list goes on. And quite frankly, it sounds very depressing to get old. You know, when you start to ask people, what does it mean to get old in this country? But I want everyone to know that that is normal, but not necessarily natural. And it is a reflection of the way we're living our lifestyle. So I am a firm believer that when we look at lifestyle, that these are the basic things that cause disease. Trust me, I know some of us are born with type 1 diabetes. Some of us, get the short end of the genetic stick. That happens sometimes as well. But so much of what ails the most of us today on a daily basis, we look here, it's the food we eat, the people we surround ourselves with, the stress we feel, the toxins in our home and in our environment, and the drugs we take. That when we take a holistic view of our life like that, we can have such a huge impact on our overall health and well-being. Now, I love this quote because I just think it is so true. We're living in a world today where lemonade is made from artificial flavors and furniture polish is made from real lemons, and we think that's okay. And that's because we walk through the world, believing that if it's on the shelf, it is safe for you. And I'm hoping by the end of your short time with me today that you will know that that is indeed not true. Just because something is on the shelf does not mean it is safe for you. Thousands of new ingredients get added to the market under a regulation called GRAS. That means generally regulated as safe. It also means that it's had about less than 30 days of testing. So just because someone is selling it on the shelf of a Walmart or a Target or even a Whole Foods doesn't mean it is safe. It means you owe it to your body, the beauty of your body, to be a smart purchaser on how you choose to buy the things that you use for your body and in your home. Now, one other thing I want you all to remember is that every living cell in your body is made from the food you eat. So if you constantly eat junk food, then you're gonna have a junk body. Just the way it works, folks. And guess what? We have a lot of cells. 35 trillion cells. I mean, that's bigger than our national debt, which I didn't think was possible. But this is 35 trillion cells. And these cells are made up of what you give it. I remember one time when I was doing some consulting with a professional baseball team, and the coach, the owner of the team, was dealing with this hotshot rookie who said, I want a Dippin' Dots machine in the dugout, in the like team room thing where they have meals and stuff like that. And I was like, a Dippin' Dot machine? That is like so garbage. You can't get that for your players. Like your players' bodies is what you buy, right? You want them to be healthy and strong. And he's like, well, can you tell them? And I was like, you big baby, right? And I was like, okay, I'll tell them. And so I remember, I thought, how am I going to get it across to these very wealthy young men who are in great shape that they should consider more what they feed their cells? So this young rookie had like a super fancy Lamborghini or something. It was like a $250,000 car. And out we go to the parking lot, and I had a gallon of water and a funnel and all these, you know, hotshot baseball players making millions and millions of dollars. And we opened up his gas tank and I put the funnel in and I was like, let's pour some water in your gas tank. And he's freaking out, right? And this is the young kid that wanted the Dippin' Dots machine in the team room. And I was like, why are you freaking out about that? And he's like, it's going to destroy my engine. And I said, oh, what's this car worth? And he's like, 250,000, something like that. And I said, oh, what is your baseball contract worth? And he's like, 8 million. I was like, oh, so you care more about the engine of your car than you actually do the engine inside of your body? And it was one of those teaching moments where you can help people understand that what we put into our body is a reflection of how we feel every day. And here's also the sad news is a 65-year-old, if you look at the science, ages 125 times faster than a 12-year-old because our body remakes itself, right? But if you've ever taken a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy, that's where we end up getting into trouble. So the better we take our care of ourselves, we can help slow down that aging process. Now, what happens in the world? Do you know what the average global life expectancy is when we look out in the world? It's 70.4. Yet science tells us we can make it to 100 with our eyes closed. And I was very fortunate to even meet some centenarians that were like living great lives. That means the average person in the world is losing 30 years of their life. Why? I like to say so often in North America, especially Europe, that we're dying of the diet of kings. We're overindulging ourselves. We're consuming artificial sweeteners and flavors and highly processed foods and convenience foods that are very low in nutrients and causing our body not to perform the way they should. And if you don't think what you eat affects disease, I'd like you to meet my friend Canto. He's a monkey that lived at the University of Illinois, okay? This guy is a senior citizen, this dude. He ate a really clean, lower calorie diet. He might not look very happy, but he's actually a very happy monkey. And he has a nice coat. He has good skin for a senior citizen of his age. You know, he's upright, he's energetic. His blood work says he is a healthy dude. Now, I want you to meet his brother. He just looks pissed off now, doesn't he? Now, he's an angry monkey. And what was he given? He was given the diet of an average active human male at 36 years old in North America. And what does Owen have? He has diabetes. He has triglycerides. He has arthritis. His hair is falling out. He's frail. He moves slower. So I want you to ask yourself, what monkey are you? Two monkeys, you know, with the same type of genetics, brothers, fed two different types of lifestyle and two totally different results, you know. And then and so much of it is about, what do we breathe? What do we put inside of our body? What do we put on our skin? All of which we can control. And I just have to give you one last tip. I want you to know is, after you eat, if you look like this, you're eating the wrong type of food. Okay. If you feel like you have to fall over and just sleep, you're just having the wrong types of food. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. So today we're here to talk about nutrients, and we're here to talk about nutrient deficiencies and what can we do to help get that 30 years that so many people are living on the table. First of all, let's talk about nutrient deficiencies. What are how do you recognize some of the easiest ways to recognize you might be suffering from nutrient deficiencies? Things like cracks in the corner of your mouth, hair loss, rashes, red or white acne-like bumps on your arm and your thighs, muscle cramps, that's a very key one, especially for magnesium, fatigue, brittle nails, poor wound healing. All of these are outward signals that your body could be suffering from nutrient deficiencies. Now, I also want you to know that science now tells us that the damage your system will endure from a nutrient deficiency is actually hundreds of times greater than any damage even caused by radiation or chemicals. And every day we're living these normal lives with these foods around us that are contributing to these types of nutrition deficiency. For example, let's just look at some of the products out there in the world and how much sugar is in these different products. And these are things that nobody really should be consuming, just so you know. This is a line I never cross ever, but if the sugar consumption out there in the world of America and Canada and Mexico is so high. I mean, just take ketchup. Do you know ketchup has more sugar spoonful for spoonful than Haagen-Dazs ice cream? I mean, why would you use hot ketchup? You might as well have ice cream. But the reality is there's hidden sugar in so much of what we eat, and it is perpetuating very large nutrition deficiencies within our respected groups and societies. And this is what happens when you have too much sugar. So many of our kids and our family members have a lot of sugar in their diet. And not only does it cause the obvious weight gain that has a lot of issues, visceral fat on the body that chokes out your organs, but you also have all these other deficiencies, magnesium, copper deficiency. It can cause anxiety, chromium deficiency, hyperactivity, calcium deficiencies, and these are just a few. And the reality is, sugar is a very addicted substance. I remember one of the first times I truly started to understand sugar's effect on the neurological brain was a study that I read out of the University of Florida, where they took rats. And I'm not a big fan of animal studies, but this one was particularly interesting. And there was a control group, one group of rats that were fed high sugar, high processed foods, and then another group of rats that were fed just raw fruits and vegetables. And so what they ended up doing is giving all the rats raw fruits and vegetables, all three groups. The control group did fine. The rats on the raw fruits and vegetables did fine. The rats that were eating a high sugar diet refused to eat the food. Then they changed up the test and they provided high sugar, high processed foods, and unable to get it, the rats would have to receive a little bit of a shock. Well, the fruits and vegetable rats were like, no way, we're not doing this. They did it once, didn't do it again. The control group didn't do it again. The rats that were fed and raised on that diet stood there receiving that shock over and over, willing to have pain because they wanted that hormonal effect that sugar has on the body. So there's a lot of research now in neurological science that shows us the connection between sugar and the effects on the brain. Now, what I want everyone here today is I want you all to do this. I want you to die young at a very old age. I want you to feel great when you're older. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen people who have chosen to surround themselves with really great people. Here's the truth of the matter. When you study centenarians, the ones that live the longest and are the healthiest have very strong, positive social groups. So if you don't have happy friends, make new ones. That's really something wonderful about our community, is that there's so many wonderful people that help support each other. But when you look out at centenarians that are still quite active, and quite frankly, they're healthier than their 70-year-old counterparts, even though there's a 30-year age difference. And I've heard many people say, well, I don't want to live to 100. What they should be saying is, I don't want to deteriorate so bad that I'm immobile and I need my family to take care of me because I can no longer function as a human. That's what they should be saying. They should be saying, I want to feel so good when I'm older and retired one day that I can enjoy my grandchildren. I don't want to be normal, because normal means I break down and deteriorate. So today I'm going to touch on a little bit of some of our products, and I'm going to focus mostly on the optimals, but just give you a visual of our Nutrify line and some of the products that we have in Nutrify, and why we do what we do. But before I do that, I want to tell you just kind of a quick story. It was about, maybe it was about 6 years ago now. The Attorney General in New York City went to Costco, Walgreens, Target, Walmart, and they pulled 800 products off the shelf. And the Attorney General in New York doesn't like supplements. He thinks supplements are expensive urine, and there's lots of different contaminants in them. So he's not a fan of the industry. So he took 800 products off the shelf and he tested them all. And what ended up happening is 8 out of 10 of them failed. That's right, 8 out of 10. 80% of the products he tested failed for identity, which means they were lying on their label and they weren't what they said they were. Failed for amounts, which means when they said there was 200 milligrams of vitamin C, maybe there was only 5. And then had contaminants, were not clean, 80%. And 80% of those people, you know, the Target brands, the Walmart brands, the Costco, the Walgreens, receive letters from our FDA saying cease and desist selling adulterated supplements. I remember I get a call from my friend like, oh my gosh, this is so bad for you. And it's so bad for your industry. And I was like, no, what you don't understand is I'm about ready to throw a party. And she's like, what are you talking about? And I said, you have no idea the level of testing that we go through. Brent Roth serves on our scientific advisory board. He's also the president of UST, which manufactures most of Nutrify for us. And I just want you to know that this is right from his mouth, because we drive him crazy. He said the Nutrify supplements, particularly the optimals, have been subjected to more testing and validation than any other product we have ever produced. We have verified the label claim of each active ingredient at multiple ISO 17025 accredited laboratories. ISO is just an accreditation you can get that is very high accreditation, leaving nothing to chance. So why do I share that with you? Because we go above and beyond in the Nutrify category to make sure that our supplements are what we say they are. That when we put something on the label, we mean it, and we mean it all the way up to the expiration date. Also, if we're going to give you a concentrated nutrient, the last thing we want to do is risk any type of adulteration or contamination. Something that many of you might not know is we actually have what's called an OTC facility. So what that means is all of Nutrify is produced in an OTC facility. And an OTC facility is certified for efficacy, purity, potency. OTC means I can make Tylenol, I can make Advil, I can make over-the-counter drugs. Over-the-counter drugs are heavily scrutinized, right? Because if I misdiagnose a Tylenol and I give it to you, it could destroy your liver. You know that? So if a Tylenol is not 100 milligrams, like it says on the bottle, and it's accidentally 300, you could really hurt and damage somebody. So there's very strong regulations around over-the-counter drugs. And so we're an OTC facility, which means every time a raw material comes into our facility, it comes with a testing document. And most supplement manufacturers will see that testing document. They'll go, oh, here's the doc. Check, 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 check. Okay, good. And they'll make the product and they'll put it in a bottle and they'll sell it to you. That is FDA compliant. That is how most supplement in the world works. What we do to be an OTC facility is we get that document and we go check, 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 check. And then we take that raw material and we test it ourselves. And then we have a new document and we compare the two to make sure they're the same. Let me tell you how scary it is. I should have gotten Phil Lewis on this call because our operations, when they test things, every single week finds raw material providers who are lying to us. And I cannot help but think, what happens to all the mom and pops or the other organizations that are not spending the extra money that we are to test those raw materials? What happens to them? Adulterated products. And that's why 80% of the products tested by the Attorney General in New York received cease and desist letters from the FDA. Because you would like to hope that every raw material provider that we buy from all over the world, which is hundreds and hundreds, are all ethical people. But I have trust issues. And so we test them all. Because I don't want any of you. I have made this promise my entire career that if you spend $1 with us, you get that back value and more, right? That we give you what you say we're going to get. I mean, I know some people say, oh, well, I can buy this CoQ10 from Target and it's $5 less. Yes, but is that the CoQ10 that was tested by New York State and didn't even have CoQ10 in it? So maybe you save $5, but what was it? So I think anytime we put a concentrated nutrient of any source in our body, we have better done our due diligence. Not only do we validate through accredited laboratories, I want you to know we are also validated and tested by NSF, GMP approval in our manufacturers. We are tested gluten-free. We are tested low glycemic. We are tested and validated GMO-free. We go through all of these organizations, which is a gigantic pain in the rear, plus all the cost associated to make sure that when we give something out to the people, that we know what it is and you know what it is. So after I get these two documents in my manufacturing facility and they match, then we get approval to make the product. We do an additional test that is required as an over-the-counter drug. So then the products are all produced and then they randomized take capsules from different bottles and they test that each capsule has the same level of milligrams and nutrients in it. So they're all matching to get consistent results. And they do this to show that their blending procedures are correct. They do this to show that every capsule is at the right milligrams each time. That is a requirement of over-the-counter drug registration. And I said why before. You overdose a Tylenol, you could hurt somebody's liver and potentially even kill them. So all those extra testing is done on Nutrify so that you can feel comfortable recommending it to your friends and family. And we know that, you know, you get what you pay for. So let's talk about the optimals, first of all, and what is in the optimals a little bit and why I think it's such an important part of our daily regime. I look at this as real health insurance. Remember, I gave you my disclaimer in the beginning, right? I think medicine is sick care. I think nutrients, food, people, air, this is real health insurance. So I don't know about you, but I know a lot of people who wake up not feeling their best. They don't know why. They don't know why. But the truth is this: most people in the world are actually deficient deficient in one or more of almost 40 different vitamins, minerals, and other biochemical nutrients necessary for everyday minimal survival. Lots of people usually know about vitamin D. It's definitely been a conversation even through COVID, and vitamin D's effect on your hormones, low vitamin D levels, how it makes you more vulnerable to cancer and other things like that. You know, that's a constant topic, but I want you to know there are more 40 different vitamins and minerals necessary for, listen, minimal survival. There are also over 50 different enzymes within the body that are completely dependent upon daily intake of an adequate amount of vitamins and minerals. And so I used to think early on in my career that vitamins were a waste of money. I really did. I thought, you eat organic, you eat healthy, you're good to go. Then I read a study from the University of Vancouver. They had over 1,000 people in this study, and they were doing blood work on that. And they found that well over 90% of the people tested in that study were deficient of some type of nutrient. So then we start to dive in, and we find out at the University of Texas, Austin, the University of Texas, San Antonio has been doing research and nutrient decline. And they're finding that the fruits and vegetables today and the bad habits of our overeating processed junk food, our fruits and vegetables today and our over farming and, you know, not replenishing the soil, I have to tell you that you are not provided the same nutrients, no matter what you think, that our grandparents ate 50 years ago. For instance, studies now show that one tomato today provides half the amount of calcium and a third of the iron and a third of the vitamin C from 50 years ago. And quite frankly, the list of vegetables and fruits in nutrient decline, it's a huge list. Selenium, even our own FDA puts out on their website that selenium is almost non-existent in US soil anymore because of over farming and commercial fertilization. So even when we try to eat really great, it is often that most people walking around are deficient of something. So I want you to know that the optimals are my health insurance. And I look at the vitamins and minerals like this. You know, this product contains it's a signature blend of whole food, dried vegetable juice blend. Everything is certified non-GMO, like we meant. And all the ingredients were chosen specifically to work together synergistically, that if you got your blood work today and you took the optimals and you got your blood work 4 months from now, after taking the optimals for 4 months, you could probably even do it at 3, you will see a significant difference in your results, because this is cellular nutrition that is designed to be absorbable. This is cellular nutrition mixed with whole foods for more bioactives in the system, so it works better. And I want you to know that the doctors across the United States and all of our other countries recommend these products because they get consistent results. I asked 2 different doctors I know, Dr. Mike, who was at Johns Hopkins Pediatric Center, and he's like, listen, Deanna, I've been practicing medicine for a very long time, and there's no doubt we need supplements in today's world. There's just no doubt. Just stress alone lowers and creates deficiencies of important nutrients in our body. And as a doctor, it's really important that the supplements I choose are the highest quality science-driven products available. And most vitamins sold in health food stores contain all types of synthetics that are not needed in the vitamins. And I choose the optimals because, quite frankly, it's one of the best solutions I've found in delivering vitamins and minerals to my patients. So that is, do you know how many people write to me with that type of languaging, especially as they dive into our science? I want you to know that vitamin purchasers usually fall into 2 different groups. Group A, who buy the most expensive brand because they think it's the best. Group B, who buys the cheapest thing they can find at the drug or discount store because they think they're all the same. Not true. They are not the same. And so, and I remember in asking, you know, Dr. Strand, who's our chief medical officer, he said, and he's a big stickler on this. He's like, Deanna, quality should be the highest priority for everyone. I know that there's this old thinking that all vitamins are the same, but it's absolutely not true. And the last 30 years of my practice, I realized that most supplements available in the market are falling very short of the mark for providing essential nutrients at a level that's actually going to be positively impact your health. And just because something costs more doesn't necessarily mean that's better. And I was like, why do you love the optimals? And he's like, I love the optimals because I haven't found other quality. They exceed the standards set by the FDA for completeness and balance, and they provide all the essential nutrients that are proven to show a health benefit. And so I want you to know that the optimals are a comprehensive formula that contains more than 60 different nutrients, including B vitamins, magnesium, vitamin E, D, selenium, calcium, and all of the signature whole food and superfood blends. So, when we reach out to our doctors, when we reach out to our fitness experts, their biggest complaints on other products is a lack of consistent results. That comes from bad manufacturing, where capsules are not all the same. And then when you take anything, and I'll shoot back to the Nutrify photo, when you take anything in the Nutrify line, you, your customers, and your family can be rest assured there's no contaminants. They're all formulated to exceed FDA expectations, and they're all manufactured in an OTC over-the-counter drug facility. And folks, when you look at these products, they're all designed to be taken together. All of them can be taken together every day. But this is a part of health insurance. Now, this doesn't mean you can go eat at McDonald's every day. I'm not saying that. But it does mean that you're giving yourself an edge over so many others. And your help showing up any deficiencies from your stress level, your environment, from the food, from too much sugar creating deficiencies in your body. And I haven't even started to talk about what alcohol and smoking can do in the body. If you fall into those two categories as well, the deficiencies are even greater. Even 2 drinks of alcohol one night, you're stripping your body of tons of B vitamins. It's one of the reasons why hangovers are so bad. It's a deficiency of B vitamins in the body the next morning. And so there's all these things we do as humans to live our life that create health challenges for the system. So my wish for everyone, even if it's not ours, okay, you don't have to take ours, is that you take a look at your lifestyle and you ask yourself critical questions. And you ask yourself the most important question: how do I want to look? How do I want to feel? How do I want to be when I'm older and retired one day? Do you want to be normal? Because if you want to be normal, that's not a fun place to be. You want to be natural? That means you're still vibrant and moving. I have a dad friend of mine who went on our products, and he's younger than me, about 10 years. And he has all types of aches and pains, and he's getting type 2 diabetes. And I finally just said to him, I said, you have 3 children. You're being selfish. And so he went on the whole program, Slenderize, all in Nutrify, got all set up. He's on everything. Called me up the other day and he's like, Deanna, for the first time in like 5 years, I'm walking down the stairs and my knees don't hurt. For the first time, I'm not on crazy cravings. For the first time, I'm sleeping better. And he's like early 40s. And I think you've just accepted prior to this, and that's the way your life is going to be. I think no way. Do not accept any of that, everyone. Because there's no reason why you have to feel bad. So, Rick, I wanted to make sure there was time for folks to ask some questions if they had any questions. And I thought I would open it up for like 10 to 15 minutes of questions and to be able to hear from some of my friends as well. So if you, Rick, want to handle that for me on who would like to kind of unmute or ask a question, you can call them out and then I will answer your questions.
So the best way to do that, a couple people have their hand raised and we can unmute them. Robin, do you have a question? Is that why you are unmuted?
I do.
Okay.
I do. Hi, Deanna.
How are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you. Sorry about my appearance. It's a little windy outside. So
you're very summery, Robin. Where are you from?
I'm in Colorado. So we just had the Air Force graduation and the T-birds flew. So I was out watching the birds.
That's
anyway,
awesome.
Yeah. So thank you so much for taking my question. And I just had a question that came up about one of the ingredients in Slender-X.
Yep.
It's New Vomica.
Yep. Nux vomica.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So that is a question we've had before where people are worried about that. And they're worried if it has any toxic side effects. Rick, will you do me a favor? We already have a really great statement that talks about that and the safety on that so that you can just have something written and hand it right over.
Yes, I would love
Zero concern, Robin. Zero. I would give it to a child.
Well, that's what I thought. And I totally believe in our products and you know, everything that you stand for. I was like, you know, laying down the law here. I was getting a little bit hard-nosed on it, but I don't have the facts behind it. So thank you so much.
Literally zero. And so I want you all to know, I live, breathe, sleep every day. And if my team knows, like if a mistake is made, I'm super friendly, except in this area.
Yeah.
You know, and I have no patience for any of that. So Rick, will you please remind me to get the statement about Nux vomica and you can hand it out to anyone who wants it?
Thank you so much, Deanna.
Awesome. Robin, great seeing you.
You too, appreciate that.
Thanks, Robin. And let's go to Valida Hamada. Valida.
Hi.
Hello. How are you all doing?
I'm so good. You have such a beautiful name.
Thank you, Deanna. I just started using the products, I guess, beginning in, I think it was March. And prior to taking them, I used to always take a digestive enzyme because I had read and thought I understood that as we grow older, we have less digestive enzymes. But I don't, there's not one under NewAge that I know of, except for maybe in some of the products.
Yeah. Okay. Just so you know, you're 100% correct. As we age, you already know this, our enzymes start to decline, our own enzyme production. Now, for those of you who don't know what enzymes do, is there are many different types of enzymes, and enzymes break down proteins and fats and sugars. And what they do is essentially, in layman's terms, they break them down to itty bitty little pieces so the body can utilize them, right? Think about them of like compost helpers or something in the body. I'm a composter, so that's the first thing that came to my mind. And so they break it down so the body can utilize it. As we age, our enzyme production drops. So we have enzymes in a few of our products, and we might be working on a standalone enzyme. I cannot confirm or deny that, but I will tell you right now, we have an enzyme blend that is in Giving Greens, and we added enzymes into our children's vitamins, but our best mix of enzymes right now is in Giving Greens. I'm a huge proponent of enzymes, especially for anyone over the age of 50, which I may or may not be. I also am unwilling to say in this moment, but I think they're really helpful at helping nutrition uptake into the body. So you were right. There are still a few holes in Nutrify, in my opinion. when it comes to supplementations for people with specific needs. And we do have, like I said, enzymes in giving greens. And I'm a big fan. You really you cannot overdo enzymes.
Well, thank you. I hope we do give them this.
Yeah. And where are you from?
I just moved from Kentucky to Tennessee.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you for asking the question.
Thanks, Valeda. Thank you.
you.
And I have enough questions already with raised hands. So I'm going to take them in order of the hands being raised. And if we have time, Sonia, you were the last one. If we have time to get to you, then we will do that as well. The next one is Valerie from British Columbia. So Valerie.
My friend Valerie, who I've known forever. So good to see you. Look at you, looking good.
So I just had a question about, I've had a lot of the younger people asking about the health and wellness, and also with the slenderize and the drops and stuff like that. And I'm wondering if there's an age limit to, you know, I know we don't experiment or do that on children, but if like a 15, 16-year-old is interested in
100%. Okay.
Body balancing, yeah.
A teenager, no problem. I want you to know, I talked to a pediatrician about this, and it's tricky with younger kids because you don't also want to make them super conscious about their weight or their body. It's a time for acceptance, right? However, in talking to actually several pediatricians, the danger for an obese child outweighs any minute issue that might come up from putting them on a program that would help them lose weight. So for teenagers, absolutely do it as a family. Welcome teenagers to come onto the program, because the nice thing about our program is weight loss is a side effect. If they take the other product, they're balancing their body, they're helping their hormones, they're helping, you know, with detox, and they're creating health in a young age that is likely to take those habits into their life. So I can see nothing but positivity from that. Younger than teenagers, I would just have them talk to their doctor, but an obese child probably could really benefit from some structure around a program.
Cool. Thanks, Val.
Val, great seeing you.
Good to see you. All right, Nancy Nagus. Nancy,
hey, Nancy. I haven't seen you in forever.
Well, I'm here.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. So I've been taking supplements for, I don't know, at least 40 years, something like that, and RX as long as it's been around. Is there such a thing as vitamin fatigue? That you need to take like a vitamin vacation periodically does your body get overly used to it?
No.
Okay. That's the right answer, right?
But no, because here's the thing, your body is going to, especially, let's just talk about the water soluble vitamins, okay? Your B vitamins. A lot of people will notice, they'll look at our children's vitamins and say, wait a second, why is there 4,000% of the FDA recommended a B12 in there? Well, first of all, because it's very difficult to absorb and get what you need. Your body is going to absorb what it needs. And it's going to, and it changes every day based on what you're eating, your stress levels, your sugar intake. So no, I have not heard of vitamin fatigue. Now, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I'll dive into the research a little bit because now you have me curious. But in my my many years of this field, I've never heard of that.
Okay.
Great question and great to see you.
Thanks, Nancy.
Thanks.
Awesome. Let's go to Diane Peterson. Diane, I've asked you to unmute. You're up next.
Hi, Diane.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Good to see you.
I had a question about, is there any of the optimals that people shouldn't be taking? Because let's say, for instance, they're on blood thinners.
That is the one where people have to be careful. Yeah, actually the one specific issue that we have to be careful with is people on blood thinners. And I believe in Insight, there is a section that talks about that and goes through a few of the different Nutrify products that they'd want to get confirmation from their doctor before, especially if they're taking like Warfarin or something like that, you know, where they have their doctor just take a look at it to make sure that there isn't any counterindications. But blood thinners, you hit the nail on the head, is the one that can be problematic. Another one that is a little bit problematic is people that have organ, what is it called when someone gets another organ? Transplant. Organ transplants. I was like, I couldn't find the word, transplant. So people with kidney transplants, liver transplants, they also have to kind of get approval from their doctors before taking these things, because a lot of times the anti-rejection meds, if the supplements work too well, can interfere with that, with their transplanted organs. So those are the two things that people need to be careful on, and there should be some information for you and insight on that.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Thanks, Diane. All right, next up is Trudy Crow.
Hi, y'all.
Hi.
Deanne, I have a son who is 50, Down syndrome, was born with Hirschsprung's, so had part of his sigmoid colon removed. Therefore, he has terrible varicose veins, and the skin on his legs is so bad. Would you recommend doubling even the recommended dosage of the Ultimals that I have him on, or am I just being impatient?
Yeah, so the Optimals cannot be increased. So when you look at our Nutrify line, a lot of the products can be what's called therapeutically dosed. So you've had surgery, you want some extra healing, you can therapeutically dose phenolic, no problem. You're getting a cold or a flu, you can therapeutically dose phenolic, no problemo. All of that is very helpful. Optimals, you may not. You cannot, because those minerals, we don't want you to take more than it can be utilized by the body, because if you overdo the minerals, it can be slightly dangerous. So giving greens can be therapeutically dosed. Rejuvenex, hey, I've been known to pop 4-8 Rejuvenex with jet lag and function really great on a stage, can be therapeutically dosed. Vanoli can be therapeutically dosed. Omega Q can be therapeutically dosed. BioPro Q can be therapeutically dosed. Restorex can be therapeutically dosed, but not the Optimals. Sorry.
Okay, well, I'm hoping and praying that we get our Noni skin supplement back this summer sometime, because Raymond's skin has completely deteriorated without having that Noni cream. And I know you're a stickler for good ingredients, so I'm hoping you can find some way to bring that back. And thank you for answering my question.
You're so welcome. And I want you to know that we're working on that. So you're not alone. There's a lot of people that really want like a great body lotion product too. So cool. That is in the works with high priority.
But I can tell you, our skin supplement I used for over 15 years, and Fire Ants, I didn't know it would actually dissolve the stinger in Fire Ants. But like I said, Raymond is Down syndrome, and he doesn't pay attention sometimes. And when we lived in Miami, we had a huge yard, and he would go mow and walk right through the fire ant beds. And it was so painful and so horrible until I realized that our skin supplement took care of it in just seconds. So wow. I'm so happy to hear this. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And I want you all to know, for those of you who from the Zeno or the RX said this know me for so long, I've dove into the Noni research, and I will disclose this to you as well. I was Noni ignorant when we first came together. I did not know how it was grown, the benefits. I just thought, I just thought that fruit smelled so bad. And that's about all I knew about it. But I have dove into the research, and I love our research team, and Noni works. It just does. And it works for so many things. And we are using such a remarkable form. It is in my refrigerator. It's a part of my daily routine. And it has such a positive impact on the outside and the inside of the human body. So we are looking to keep Noni in many of the, like, all the products that are currently Noni, but even some of the new ones that will be shared amongst all companies. Just the benefits are off the charts. I'm going to give you a secret. We're working on R&D. R&D is working on a lot of things, but we're also working on something for perimenopause and menopause, something that may or may not be important to me based on my age, not sure. I won't say. But what's really amazing is we're really showing the even Noni mixed with the other herbs is having a remarkable effect in reducing things like hot flashes and other things on the body. So we will definitely be looking to put that into the body lotion. So thank you for your question.
Awesome. All right, let's take the last question. Sonia, if you can unmute, then you're good to go.
Sonia with the beautiful hair.
I know, right?
Thank you. Thank you. Well, hello, everyone. I'm excited to be a part of the family, and it's great to meet everyone. And I'm glad Valerie, first of all, asked that question about the digest enzymes, because I do take them for good better digestion. And like you, I won't say how old either young or older, but they are great. And I heard you said the Giving Greens has some digestive enzymes, but you're working on a product. So I have a question about potassium and about the amount of that you recommend. Your bottle says for the vitamin D. I have a question about potassium and then the vitamin D product. With the vitamin D, it says 4 capsules are recommended. I currently take like one that has 5,000 IUs in it. What are we getting with our vitamin D? And then do we have anything that has potassium?
Yes, the optimals have potassium, and you're straining my memory. Hold on. Like, I used to memorize all the labels, but now we have too many darn products, and it's hard to know all the numbers all the time. And I find myself mixing it up. So with the vitamin D, what were you taking before?
I take a vitamin D by Terry Naturally, so I'm converting.
You know how many IUs? How many?
5,000.
Yeah.
For one tablet. One tablet is 5,000.
Yeah. So we have, hold on really quick. So ours is in micrograms. So let me convert it.
I noticed that.
Yeah. Hold on. I can convert it really quick. I have it right here.
Okay.
50. So our dose is 2,000 IUs in the bottle. Okay. And so, yeah, it's 2,000 IUs. So a little bit less than what you're taking there. But why we do that is because there's also vitamin D in the optimals and potassium. And there's also vitamin D in Pure Nourish. And there's also vitamin D. So across the whole board of the Nutrify range, whenever we formulate where everything can work together synergistically. Okay. Okay. And so, as you know, it's very hard to reach upper limits of vitamin D and create vitamin D toxicity. It's pretty high. It's like 15,000 IU or something on a regular basis every day. But MagnaCal D is designed to be taken with the optimals, and the optimals level of vitamin D. And I do not know if I have both of them in front of me. No, I only have the minerals in front of me right now. I'd have to look at that label, but I can get that number for you.
Thank you, because I'm recommending it to some people who have a, deficient in that. So to know that it's in the other ones.
When someone takes the optimals and MagnaCal D together, they are doing great because they have all those extra nutrients as well that help with absorption. Remember, vitamin D and K2 helps unlock the bone, get it into the body. So when you add those other nutrients, like even from vitamin C, it shows upper intake. So it's not about just taking it. For example, lots of people take high levels of calcium, but they get zero absorption. And if anything, it puts plaque in the arteries and that causes issues because there is a very a very delicate balance of all the nutrients and the way they work together to be able to unlock the cell or unlock the bone and to get them where they need to go. So every time we formulate anything, MOA, when we formulated MOA, what can we do to help get these bionutrients into the body? When we formulated Mani-Cal-D, what extra things can we add to it to help uptake the nutrients into the body? So even in some places where you'll see lower calcium or even lower magnesium, they're a more absorbable form with other nutrients that help uptake into the body and get, that's why when people take our products and they take them consistently, their blood work changes.
Awesome.
I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
Sonia, thank you for the question. That was awesome. And Deanna, we're coming up against the hour and have another Zoom right after this, but thank you so much for taking your time and sharing your knowledge and your passion, your enthusiasm. For those of you who don't know, there's been a number of employees that have been on the Deanna program, and many have had great success, and we're about ready to start another one tomorrow with a handful of executives. Brent challenged me to join him in this so he could beat somebody, and the game is on. So tomorrow, Deanna, we start up. I'm uploading ice cream and everything I can today for my before picture, and good to go tomorrow.
Yeah, we are doing that. I will tell you, the nice thing about coming together in Convergence is a lot of the Zenoa and the Noni folks going on Nutrify and Slenderize are just getting a chance to feel kind of how it changed their bodies. And we all get to know the products, and the RX folks get to go on some of the Noni folks and just experience the products. I'm always challenging the employees. I'm like, okay, guys, product to the product. Let's be a product to the product. Right. And so they haven't kicked me out yet. They're not sick of me yet. I definitely go around like, do you think that even Pedro, I think Pedro's over in South America, you know, he's lost like 28 pounds on the program. And then I was in the office and he had a little bowl of, I don't know what kind of candy that was. I was like, that is not yours, is it? And he's like, it's not, it's really not. I said, okay, that's very good. So we're trying to create a community that just helps everybody live better, because I've never met anyone on their deathbed who says, gosh, I wish I had another piece of cake. It's usually, I wish I could live longer to spend more time with my family. And I'm not ready to go. It's not, I wish I had a Skittle or a Snickers or a Mountain Dew. I don't think that comes out of people's mouths at the end of their lives. It's, I wish I would have done some things different. Remember that, right? When you're putting things in your body and on your body. So have a wonderful day, everybody. And it was really great that you joined me on this Wednesday call.
Yeah. And what a way to end. What a great message. Thanks, Deanna.